welcome to another edition of Currently in Quincy. I'm Joe Catalano. On today's program, we will learn all about the Nutrition Services Program offered by South Shore Elder Services of Braintree. First, though, as always, we take a look at the weather and the news for you. Currently in Quincy, brilliant sunshine out there, a few high thin clouds, but it is still quite blustery. 52 degrees right now. That's about as warm as it's going to get. That wind making it feel even chillier throughout the afternoon today. Temperatures tonight drop off into the mid-40s again, and we kind of do it all over again tomorrow with a mix of sun and clouds. The wind is still pretty active tomorrow with a high only in the mid-50s. Again, feeling colder than that. A little warmer, a little less windy on Wednesday. Still nowhere near where we should be this time of year with highs in the mid-50s, but we turn the corner on Thursday, turning milder with a mix of sun and clouds. Highs Thursday probably even warmer than 70 degrees. We could be into the 80s by Friday. But right now, we've got sunshine with wind and 52 degrees here in Quincy. Checking news today, Mayor Thomas Koch's proposed budget for the next fiscal year includes a request for a community liaison to focus on issues of diversity and equity. The mayor says that new position was recommended by a special commission that he appointed last year.
I got an executive summary from the just as recently from the commission that we put together on equality and diversity, and they basically had interviewed every department head. They did a lot of analysis of data and stats, and what they're saying is we need a person that might help people navigate the system a little bit better, somebody that can take care of issues that, make sure people are availing themselves to city services that might not otherwise do so because either language barriers or other barriers, they're not aware of it. So I think we'll try this and see how it goes. Between the language access stuff that we funded on the planning side in this position, I think we're in decent shape. I've never bought into the full EDI coordinated department stuff. I think the city is an example or a gateway city. It's what people try to promote or push. A social engineer has been happening organically in Quincy for many years now, and I don't see the need for an EDI necessarily. I think our departments do a very good job within the confines of civil service and the law on hiring. I think we do a good job in services. I think our schools have been working at it for years. They deal with 25 or 28 different primary languages in some elementary schools. I think we can do better in certain areas. For example, on the language issue, on disability issues, somebody wants to access a planning board meeting and they're deaf. There's a number of examples I think we can do a little better at. And I think that's what this committee looked at.
The mayor's request is not the full Department of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion that was requested by the City Council. However, he says he feels the new position would address many of the issues that were raised during a series of community meetings about diversity and equity. That new position would pay $75,000 and would fall under the mayor's office. Quincy City Council wants to make sure that the city's traffic, parking, alarm, and lighting department has all the resources it needs to do its job. Last week, Council President Noel DeBona introduced a resolution calling for an update.
Obviously, we established this TPAL traffic, parking, alarm, and lighting division back in July of 2016 to consolidate several aligned divisions and increase efficiency to address the city's traffic and pedestrian safety needs. Obviously, the City Council, we wish to continue to work collaboratively with TPAL on development and implementation of measures to address pedestrians and drivers alike in the city. Therefore, let it be resolved that the City Council receives an update from the TPAL department regarding the progress of current and planned traffic projects and other activities related to easing traffic and enhance pedestrian safety. If I could entertain a motion from one of the councilors here to approve.
TPAL department is headed up by Edward Grennan. The council did approve DeBona's resolution, sent it on to the Public Works Committee for further review. A plan to replace the Quincy District Courthouse with a new Regional Justice Center is taking a major step forward. Last Thursday, Governor Baker came to the courthouse to announce a $160 million project that will span the next several years.
Here at Quincy Courthouse, the plan charts a course to replace this facility with a new Norfolk County Regional Justice Center that consolidates court departments. To achieve this goal, the plan provides $3.5 million in fiscal '23 to deal with what we would call sort of the front end around design, and then about $50 million a year for 3 years, and then whatever it takes to finish it in the 4th year over the course of the next 5 years. We think the project overall will cost somewhere between $150 and $160 million to get done. It's one of several projects in the capital plan that supports courthouses and courthouse activity across the Commonwealth.
Baker said the new Quincy Regional Justice Center could include the District Court, along with the Juvenile Court, Norfolk Superior Court, currently in Dedham, and a new housing court. A study was commissioned back in 2017 to assess the conditions of Massachusetts courts. The Quincy Court was identified as a top priority for improvements. The former Roach Brothers supermarket on Falls Boulevard in Quincy will soon be home to an H Mart, Korean supermarket. Quincy City Clerk Nicole Crispo explains the Board of License Commissioners approved of the new store last week.
Attorney Patrick Foley was there speaking about H Mart. They do not have an opening date yet. They figure they're about 3 months out. They're not going to do anything to the store itself except really clean the store and get it ready for an opening for H Mart. They do have 97 stores across the country and are really excited to come to Quincy. They were compared to a Whole Foods. So with that, it went to a vote 5-0.
H Mart is a New Jersey-based company. There are 2 other H Mart stores in Massachusetts, in Cambridge and in Burlington. Roach Brothers closed its Quincy location in late March after 26 years in business, citing declining revenue. That's our check of news. Coming up, Linda Kelly and Ann McDonald are here from South Shore Elder Services. That's next.
Yeah, exactly.
Welcome back. We're really happy to put a spotlight today on the nutrition program at South Shore Elder Services of Braintree. So to do that, we welcome the program manager, Linda Kelly, and Ann McDonald, nutritionist. Ladies, welcome, welcome.
Thank you, Joe, for having us.
No, it's our pleasure. We've had a good long relationship, actually, with South Shore Elder Services here at QATV, spotlighting your many different programs. But we thought particularly the home-delivered meals program is one that's worth mentioning. Certainly, at this time, you know, as we're coming out of the pandemic and with costs of living going up and up and up, and so many people finding themselves having a hard time making ends meet and finding themselves isolated too because of the pandemic. Right. This has been a crucial lifeline throughout it as well. So Linda, why don't we start with you?
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about this program and what it means for the people of Quincy and the South Shore.
Sure, absolutely. So with South Shore Elder Services, we service 11 towns on the South Shore. We go as far down to Scituate, Cohasset, and then we come up here to Quincy. Quincy is our largest area for delivering. We deliver over 1,200 meals a day to our consumers, and out of those 1,200, Quincy alone, we deliver 500.
So almost half.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. So we have 3 meal sites in Quincy. So out of the 11 towns, we have 14 meal locations. And 3 of them are located in Quincy. One is 80 Clay, one is 95 Martinson Street in Sawyer Towers, and the other one is 24 Wall Street, which is the Manic Community Health Center. They are our largest sites. We also deliver cultural meals, Asian home-delivered meals is a huge impact on this community. We just started that about 3 years ago because the demographic requires it. It was a demand for
Sure,
it. And
yeah.
we deliver the home delivered meals also. The qualifications for the Meals on Wheels is you just have to be over 60 and homebound. And you make a referral with our IOR department. It's Information and Referral Department at South Shore Elder Services. We deliver between 10 and 1, Monday through Friday. I personally think the safety check for these elders are more important than the meals. The meals are very, very important. We deliver a nutritious meal. But the safety check, we are the only people, I should say, our volunteers, are the only people that see our elders on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
So the safety check is important. If a consumer is not home and has not told us they weren't going to be home, then we call them in as a no answer. I have staff that follow up, and we try to find them in a timely manner. If we can't, we call the local police for a well-being check. And it works. We do not leave a day without making sure our elders are safe.
Yeah. Conversely, I happen to know too that if a volunteer doesn't show up with a meal, then that elder will call South Shore Elder
yes.
Services and say,
yes.
"Where's my meal? Is my volunteer okay?" So it really is a symbiotic
They have built
relationship. Yeah.
such a great relationship, absolutely. And if it's a different volunteer, we get
Where's
calls.
so-and-so? Yeah.
Where is Joe today?
Right. Right.
He always delivers my meals.
Yeah.
Is he okay? We'll say, yes, he's fine. They're volunteers. And to speak of the volunteers, they're the heart and soul. I think I've been saying this since day one, since I've been there almost 11 years, been here. And they are the heart and soul of this agency. We could not do it without all of the volunteers. We do have paid drivers. We have our site managers that are fantastic. But the volunteers, they really love what they do. And the elders love them.
Well, it's like you say, you can't overlook the social aspect of this program.
Right,
You know,
right,
but
right.
that comes with meals in general, right? Whenever you go out with friends or family, there's
True.
the whole social aspect of it. So,
True.
you know, the food part of it, yes, is integral, and it couldn't happen without
Right.
that. But
Right.
the personal relationship is equally as important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they'll call for any concerns.
Right.
You know, the volunteers will let us know because they're our eyes and ears.
That's right.
I don't
Yeah.
see them every day, but they do.
How many volunteers are there in the program?
With nutrition is over 300.
Is that right? Do you need more?
We always need more. We always need more
Yeah.
volunteers.
I'm sure.
You know, they're far and few, but the ones we have are fantastic. But because we are still growing, our meals, you know, we increase every day.
Yep.
That we, you know, need more volunteers. Even if it was one day a week. It doesn't have to be a huge commitment. It doesn't have to be 5 days.
This is quite a historic occasion this year for Meals on Wheels,
Yes.
Linda.
Yeah. It's
the
a
golden anniversary.
50th anniversary,
Wow.
yes. Yeah.
That's incredible. That's
Yeah.
nationwide.
Yes.
Nationwide. How about here at South Shore?
We have been in business 45 years,
Okay,
yes.
so almost from the beginning.
Right, almost from the beginning, yeah.
And we should bring you in at this point and talk about the food,
you.
because it is important.
Yeah, I mean, I see the meals as being like integral to this program.
Of course,
so,
yeah. As being a nutritionist, of
yeah,
course.
absolutely.
Yeah. I think just the fact that there is someone like you, a nutritionist, overseeing this program speaks volumes to the importance that it puts into
That
it.
is a federal mandate of the program.
Okay.
So any local home delivered meals program has a registered dietitian
Yeah.
affiliated. So I write the menus for all of our sites, and it is done with guidance from the National Academy of Sciences. Our menus are mandated to meet a third of the recommended dietary allowance for the age group that we're providing meals to.
So actually, one full meal of the 3 that people usually have, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You know, and to digress for a moment, Joe, we, you know, another mandate of our program is that annually we survey our participants, and this year's results definitely showed that for more than 40% of our participants, this meal is the main meal of their day.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, in addition to meeting a third of the sort of federal guidelines for nutrition, we have additional sort of guidance that is provided. We provide milk with every meal. All our grains need to be whole grains. We need to provide fruit as a dessert 3 times a week.
Interesting.
And we have guidance regarding the sodium content of our meals. So in general, all of our meals sort of fall within the guidance of a 3 to 4 milligram sodium diet per day.
Okay.
We have a couple of days a month that we're allowed to exceed that, but not more than that. So in addition, our program provides what are called medically tailored meals. And we have 7 different options to do that: diabetic, cardiac, renal, low lactose, and then 3 texture modifications. So we really try and be sensitive to the fact that, in our age demographic, many individuals, have a need for controlling elements of their diet. And to that end, probably about 40% of the meals we serve on a daily basis fall into those medically tailored meal categories.
Very large.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot, but it's sort of not surprising given sort of the age range that we're serving.
Yes,
So-
more chronic conditions,
Yeah.
The older we get,
Yeah.
certainly.
Yes,
so
exactly,
there are
exactly.
considerations.
Yeah. The other thing that I wanted to really mention is the program's role in preventing food insecurity in our consumers. And we know that nationally, prior to the pandemic, about 7% of seniors experience food insecurity. And over the course of the pandemic, that rate has risen to about 18%.
Really?
So, it's almost 20%, of the population that we deal with really has some issues in affording, the food that they need to be healthy. And again, the results of our survey were really powerful, I think, with regard to this, in that we learned that for 30% of the people, a little bit more than 30% of our consumers state that if not for Meals on Wheels, they would not be able to have enough food to eat in their home. So it's really gratifying to work for a program that really provides support. And as a nutritionist, I've always felt that it's just really counterproductive, to try and counsel people on eating in a healthy way if they don't have the money, to provide, to buy the food that they need to be healthy. So, it's a positive thing, I think.
Well,
So-
you were an integral part of those
Yes.
persons' lives, for
Yes.
sure. There's no question.
Right.
Are you able to take allergies into consideration?
We do.
You do?
Our policy is that, essentially when an individual is referred to our program, our staff contacts them and asks them a brief number of questions, including whether they have allergies
Okay.
to any food. And for any consumer who identifies as having a food allergy, I will get in touch with them and screen them further
Okay.
to see if it's really a true allergy that's going to lead to anaphylaxis,
Right.
or if it's really more of a food intolerance.
I
But
see, okay.
if it is a true food allergy, typically those consumers, we try and guide them to other food resources that would be safer.
Sure.
Our meals are provided by a commercial food vendor who is certainly really familiar with the guidance that we need for our program, but they are not an allergy-free kitchen.
Okay.
So in the interests of safety, we sort of refer them to other sources of food.
Absolutely, yeah. You brought some pictures with you that I want to show folks,
Okay.
just to give them a little sense for what the Meals on Wheels program looks like, on the ground.
Okay.
So we have some pictures of some of the meal sites, some of the volunteers. Back a couple of years ago when the pandemic first started,
Yeah.
was very
Yeah.
crucial, and some Boston news stations actually highlighted the program. So, Linda, if you can tell us what we're looking at here. So when you look
Okay,
right
there's
down
that.
your screen here, you'll be able to see these.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yep.
Okay. So that's our Quincy location at Manic Community Health Center
Okay.
in Wall Street. That's a volunteer taking the meals out in the cooler bags to be delivered.
Well, that looks like Councilor DeBona there
Yes, it
at the
was.
top of the steps.
Yes,
Yeah.
Noel DeBona.
Yeah.
And that is also, what is that? Oh, that is our Farmers Market Fresh Produce Program. So the Department of Agriculture every year reaches out to us, and we have a farmers market. We have 2 phases.
Oh.
Phase 1 is farmers market coupons, where we offer low-income consumers a $25 coupon that they can go to any farmer's market and pick out all their fresh produce.
Super. Okay.
This is phase 2, I believe. It's boxes of fresh produce.
Okay.
And that is where we distribute them to any low-income consumers that are homebound.
I see.
That
Okay.
cannot go out to the farmers markets. And we have a relationship with a farmer that we get these every year from.
Really?
And yeah, it's been fabulous.
Wonderful.
And the consumers love it, and they don't have to go out shopping, and they get fresh produce.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
Next up, we have, looks like Representative Chan there.
Yes, that's the same location,
Okay.
and that's our site manager, Denise, that met with him at the location. Those are the Meals on Wheels on the table there. They come in the tray, and he was down there. Yeah.
Packing them up, ready
Yes,
to go. Yeah.
packing them up. So they come in from our caterer,
Yeah.
and then our site manager counts them to make sure we receive them all.
Okay.
And then they're packed up by our volunteers to be delivered.
Okay. Take a look at the next one here. Mm-hmm. And this is what I mentioned, Channel 4, I think, was
Yes,
spotlighting the
yeah.
program. Yeah. Which
At
was,
the beginning of the pandemic,
Yeah.
a couple years ago, Channel 4 News did come down and they did an interview with us, asking us about the volunteers. And at the beginning of that, I was amazed. We got 150 new volunteers. People were just, the outreach was incredible, incredible.
looking to give back in some way, right?
They did.
Everybody kind of felt out of control when this
They
first
did.
started.
We,
so.
we were blessed, to receive that many more.
Yeah.
That is actually a consumer, a volunteer delivering to one of our consumers in Quincy.
Okay.
And he did preference that he loves our broccoli. I had to say that because I remember that clip so well, that he loved our broccoli.
Yeah.
Yes.
Great. This is a good point to ask you, how does someone become a volunteer? For Meals on
Okay,
Wheels?
so we do have a volunteer coordinator that works in our agency, and you would reach out to her.
Okay.
And you would fill out an application, a query check, and then there's a training. And then we would set you up at any of our meal sites, preferably, the location you live in, or, the town you live in. Whatever days, we would take 1 day, 2 days. Some of our volunteers deliver every day, but some of them just 1 or 2 days.
Okay.
That's all they have to do. They have to, set up the training. The site manager would also train them at the meal site.
Okay, very
to
good.
start up.
So they could be either a driver or at work at the meal site?
Yes, we do have kitchen help too.
Okay.
We do have the need for kitchen help at all the sites, where they would pack up the meals in the brown bags. So you get a milk, bread, and dessert with your meals.
Okay.
So that they would need help with that.
Okay. So just
So-
reach out and go through the process.
Yes.
Is there kind of requirements in terms of age at all?
For volunteers, no.
No.
Well, over 18.
Okay.
Over 18.
Yeah. And obviously a valid driver's license.
Absolutely, you need a valid driver's license, and like I said, you fill out the application and a query check, and then the training. The training manual we would go over with you, and our volunteer coordinator would work very closely with this volunteer, get them set up at the right location, and get them started.
Is there reimbursement available for mileage, Linda?
There is a mileage reimbursement. I know with the price of gas
Oh my
going
gosh,
up,
yeah.
we do offer them a mileage reimbursement.
Okay,
Yes.
very nice.
Yes.
And it's an ongoing process, it's a rolling process, there's no kind of deadline to apply for?
Oh no.
Okay.
No.
You'll
no.
take them anytime they're
We'll
ready?
take them anytime. We always need volunteers,
Sure.
especially in the winter time, because we have a lot of our volunteers are elders themselves, and they may go down to snowbirds.
No, okay.
They go down to Florida,
All right.
so we need more probably in the winter than
Yeah.
the summer, but we're always looking for volunteers.
That's interesting. Does Meals on Wheels follow them when they? No. and shaking her head like, we can't do that.
Oh, no.
No.
I wish we could.
Okay.
I wish we
That's
could.
an interesting point, though. I wonder how many people reapply in a new location. So
This is what I was wondering,
It's
yeah.
not transferable from state to state.
Yeah, I know, I
Okay,
know.
good to know. Although there probably are programs there.
Of course,
or
yeah,
Oh,
it's a
yeah,
national
all around the
absolutely,
country, yeah,
absolutely.
that would, they'd be able to
Absolutely.
take advantage of, sure.
Right.
Right.
Anything else we should touch on before we run out of time, either one?
The only other
Yeah.
thing I did say about the qualifications, but we do offer a private pay for any consumer that's under 60. We do offer them that. They'd
Oh.
have to be obligated to pay for the meal.
Okay.
We have a monthly menu. We do offer congregate meals. And what a congregate meal is, at each location, there could be it's a place where people that can drive or get a ride there by a bus or a senior bus, we have a lunch for them.
Oh.
We have a hot meal. But because of COVID, a lot of them have stopped. But we have started to reopen them.
Okay.
There is one open in Quincy right now at the Wollaston Senior Center. It's
Oh.
an Asian congregate.
Okay.
But we're slowly trying to reopen them with the, with COVID now.
Right. Being cautious as we go forward.
We're always
yeah.
cautious,
Yeah.
and our volunteers, I should add that we always wear the masks, the gloves, and, delivering, being very cautious with all our consumers.
The new normal,
Right,
as it were.
I know,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
know,
Exactly.
I know.
Thank you both. Really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
Thank you for
about
having
this.
us.
Sure. Hope we've been able
Thank
to
you.
educate folks about this program. If they need it,
Absolutely.
to have them reach out to you.
They can check on our website,
Yep.
and if you have any questions, just reach out to us.
All right. Thanks again.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank
Just enough time to check the weather for you for the rest of the day today. Pretty much what you see is what you get out there. Partly sunny, windy, and chilly with highs only in the low 50s and a wind chill cooler than that. Tonight we're down to the mid 40s again, and talking about Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, the temperatures will start to slowly increase before we get to 70 on Thursday, and then we're talking about maybe 80 or warmer by Friday, so we'll look forward to that. Thanks again going out to Linda Kelly and McDonald for joining us here today
Thank you,
from
Joe.
South Shore Elders. Thank you to our crew. Thank you for watching. Speaking of Friday, here on the show, folks from Quincy Asian Resources will join us. Hope you can too. Don't forget our website anytime, qatv.org. You'll find all our latest programs there, news and information, video on demand, live streaming, and much more. For all of us here at QATV, I'm Joe Catalano. Have a great week.